Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. This is really important. There are changes that are coming that could positively affect you and your rating. You have to take action though, and that's a big piece of it. So once a change gets implemented, it's on you to go in and ask for that increase. This is a potential increase for many veterans, in my opinion, to move from a 70% rating to a 100% rating simply on one condition. So moving from a 70% rating to a 100% rating is a huge jump for a one rating condition. So I want to jump into that, share that with you, and go from there. So please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. I did create another channel called Veterans Daily. That is a co-hosted channel. I'd love for you to check it out. Some dialogue in there and a little more long form with some little snippets during the week for you. I hope you enjoy that. In addition, if you want to support this channel in other ways, this is my main channel and my main focus on you. So please, if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by becoming a member. You can do that by going to the homepage. You will see the members highlighted there, and you can hit the join button and move on from there. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all you members and subscribers as well. Thank you so much. All right, so let's jump into this. The VA, if you're not aware, has proposed many changes over the course of the past, 8 years or so, and way before that too. But most recently, over the past, 8 years or so, there has been a lot of changes going on in the VA, specifically changes with regard to the rating schedules. The rating schedules are really important because they affect what percentage rating we will get for each individual condition and the criteria for that. The one I'm talking about today is mental health. Mental health conditions being rated with the VA. Now, remember that mental health is a funny umbrella, and it includes everything under the sun except for two things. Eating disorders. So eating disorders are in a different kind of section of the mental health rating schedule, and they have their own rating schedule, but everything else is under one rating schedule, one umbrella. So if you have, for example, it's my rooster. He loves when I talk about mental health. So what happens is that even if you have PTSD, anxiety, depression, and we'll say insomnia, if you have those four things, they're going to combine it all together. And when they combine it all together, they're going to give you one rating based on your overall signs and symptoms, okay? So it doesn't matter if you have one mental health condition or 7, right? They're just going to lump them all together. So that's important to understand. So today, what happens is when you're looking to file for your mental health condition, your maximum is 100%, but oftentimes people fall short of the 100%. Why? Because they don't meet the total social and occupational impairment aspect of the mental health rating at 100%. So in this proposed change that, oh, by the way, it's been a couple years, okay, since they proposed it, the reality is that these things can take years. They've already changed. The VA has already changed, I believe, 9 out of 15 rating schedules, and they're slowly chipping away to finish them all off. Now, the last change that I saw implemented from the VA regarding a change that went through this whole process was implemented January of 2024, and it was proposed 5 years ago. So it took 5 years for them to go through that process. So who's to say that this isn't going to take 5 years, right? I'm just throwing that out there for folks so they can understand that there could be a time frame. Now, on a VA news release regarding this specific change, they went through a news release where they talked about the other changes as well, right? So the negative changes in this press release, and I'm not going to dive deep into them, are the elimination of tinnitus as a rating at all and a reduction to a 0% rating for sleep apnea if your CPAP is deemed appropriate in treating your condition. So which are horrible. I don't agree with either one of those. So, but that's also in this press release. But I wanted to jump into this last part here. So the proposed rules, and this is directly from the VA's website on their news release regarding this proposed change. The proposed rules for mental health conditions would increase the minimum disability rating from 0 to 10%. So in other words, they're eliminating a 0% rating. If you have a mental health condition that the VA deems service connected, you will automatically have a 10% rating no matter what. Now remember that everything falls under the same mental health schedule. So if you have very mild insomnia, maybe you're looking at a 10%, right? Or if you have very mild, other condition, whatever it may be, something obviously mild. I don't foresee, we don't even see a lot of people at 0 today. So I don't foresee seeing a lot of folks at the 10%. You're usually going to get into the 30s. But moving on, the rule, again, this proposed rule would get rid of a dated part of the rating schedule that prevents a veteran from getting 100% rating for mental health condition if they are able to work. So in other words, what the VA is saying here is currently, if you're able to hold a job and work with a mental health condition, you should not be 100% based on the current rating schedule. Okay? That's what they're saying in that sentence. In today's rating schedule, if you hold a job and you're able to work, you should not be at 100% rating. Now, there might be somebody out there that has it, but as a rule of thumb, that's what the VA is basically saying. In this new proposed rule for mental health, they are going to remove that barrier that is preventing veterans from getting 100% ratings for mental health conditions if they are able to work. That's outstanding. Because guess what? In today's world, it is hard to survive if you are not bringing in some income. And I'll tell you, in 90% of America, it is hard to live on 100% alone. I mean, if you're not going, it's going to be tight. So here we go. Moving on, VA will ensure veterans get the compensation they need and deserve, especially when it comes to mental disorders. Under the proposed changes, VA plans to use new evaluation criteria to more accurately capture the different domains of impairment caused by mental health disabilities. Okay, and it will provide more adequate compensation for financial losses experienced by veterans with service-connected mental health conditions. So that's all good. Let's go on. Rather than assigning an evaluation based on the number and type of symptoms present, these changes would evaluate mental disorders based on how impactful the disability is across 5 domains of impairment: cognition, interpersonal interactions and relationships, task completion, life activities and navigating environments, and self-care. That's your 5. So that's what they're going to be looking at. A more appropriate way of looking at mental health, in my opinion. Veterans, their caregivers, and other partners can read the proposed rules for themselves on the Federal Register. It's a big book. And again, this is something that you need to keep an eye on, because when it does come into effect, if you believe that you can move into that next tier of mental health, whether it is from a 50 to a 70 or a 70 to a 100, you actually need to file for an increase on the utilizing the new rating schedule. Very important that you do that, and I will do my best to keep you up to date on any changes when they actually do go into effect. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.